Hello everyone, this is Adnan again, your online teacher. I'm again with you people with a new topic. Okay, here I am, and I'm here again in front of you people with a new topic. The topic of the day is the self-introduction. Okay, I'm waiting for some other people to appear so that we can go to our next topic. Unless let's talk about the yesterday's topic. So, in our lecture number 4, we talked about the grammar family. Indeed, not grammar family, the family tree, in which I told you about that how to talk about the relatives, the paternal or the maternal side of the relatives. And I hope everybody did their homework at their homes. Okay, apart from doing the homeworks, you can also do the practice of speaking. Speak the same chart that I shared with you people yesterday. Let me show you the same chart again. Okay, that was the chart. I'm just going to show you people. Okay, this was the yesterday's chart. Now what you have to do, you have to replace the characters in this chart with your original characters. Like you have to introduce your siblings here. You have to write down the names of your siblings. Then you have to write down the names of your paternal and maternal relations. Okay, and after editing the chart, with your original characters, the characters of your family, then you have to repeat speaking the same chart with the chain names, with the original names of your family. It will be a good experience of speaking indeed. Okay, it was about the yesterday's chart, and I hope everything was clear. Okay, let me just again tell you, I'm just waiting for others to appear. So yes, Abbas, I'm good, thank you. Mushad, thank you. Okay, so as I told you that if you have any question, you can send me the message here in the comments box. I will answer you in the last, okay, or after the lecture I will give you the answers. And if you want to show me your homeworks so that I could check your homeworks for the mistakes, you can send me on the WhatsApp groups, or even you can send me on the comment box. Okay, you can take the pictures and you can send your voices like that. Okay, so okay, some of these students have appeared, so without wasting the time, let's start. Okay, as I told you, today's topic is how to speak about yourself. It's a difficult task to introduce yourself. Either you are in a meeting or you are giving any interviews, like means if there are any guest is there at your home and you are introducing to him or to her in English, then you might get confused. Even I myself get confused to introduce to them. Okay, so I will teach you people that what are the main things to introduce yourself in front of the others. Okay, your introduction might be in your class, in English class, or in your class. Okay, your introduction might be in some programs, some ceremonies, like the annual functions are there in your school, so your introductions might be there. So today we will learn about some techniques of introduction, self-introduction. Okay, before going towards the self-introduction, I am just telling you people about some basic terminology, some basic structures of sentences here. Okay, let me just change it. Okay, I hope everybody is clear about the use of these three different structures. Number one is I like to, I want to, and the third one is I love to. Okay, whenever you are making these sentences in which you are using I like to, then after to you have to use the first form of the verb with all of these structures. Okay, and after that, if I'm using I like to, generally these three things are used to describe your hobbies. Okay, you can use these structures to describe your hobbies. You can use these structures to describe your wishes. Okay, you can use these three structures to describe your habits as well. For example, I'm making some sentences like I like to watch movies, I like to listen the songs, I like to use mobile phone. Okay, so that is about the like. You can also make some sentences and you can type in the comments box. Okay, let's move towards I want. If you have any sort of wish and you are not doing anything, then you can use this want there. For example, I want to drive a car. I want to fight like a wrestler. I want to eat the raw meat. So these are some of the sentences using want to, in which you are showing some wishes there. Okay, and the last one is love to. Its pronunciation is love to, like this. I love to. Okay, when to use this love? Whenever there is any, means keen, means the habit without which you cannot live. For example, I love to play PUBG. Most of the generation of today, they do not sleep without playing PUBG. So they have a keen habit of using it. So they would use I love to play PUBG game. I love to take tea. I love to play cricket. Okay, so I hope these three structures are clear to you people. Whenever you have to show your hobbies, you have to show your wishes, you have to show your habits again, then you can use these three structures to describe those. It will be easier and it will be effective for you people. And generally, when you are describing yourself, in that I will tell you that what are certain things, some specific things when you are describing, then how to use these structures there, I will also tell you. Okay, let me just come back again. So here I have written down the structures and we discussed those, and I hope you are all clear about it. Okay, some of the students are asking to repeat. Actually, you can watch the saved video on Facebook later on. Okay, so let's move towards the self-introduction. Abbas, you had put a question. I will answer you in the last 5 minutes. Okay, let's move towards the self-introduction. Before telling you about the self-introduction, I have two questions to you people. how many of you are familiar with biography and autobiography? Okay, my first question is, what is biography? Give your answers in comments. I'm waiting. My question is, what is biography? Yes, I am waiting for your answers. What is biography? Yes. Okay, okay. Okay, I'm answering you people. Look, I have written down two words there. Okay, our status. Okay, now, okay, I have written down two words here, the biography and the autobiography. Okay, basically, both the words mean introduction. Okay, introduction of a person. Yes, Abbas, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so mean introduction of a person. Okay, now what happens when, for example, I'm just giving you the example, if Abbas is going to describe someone else, then it becomes biography. Okay, I have received the answers. Mushahid, someone's life written by someone else is called biography. Exactly. So it means if a person's life, if a person's introduction is given by another person, by a third party, by a third pronoun, then it becomes biography. But if the same life, if the journey of the life is written by himself, then it becomes the autobiography. In simple words, we can say that autobiography means self-introduction. Okay, so these are the two different words. Yes, Mushahid, you were right. Okay, so biography means describing the other's life, other's introduction, while autobiography means describing the self life. Okay, the self introduction, in other words. Okay, so we are moving towards the self introduction. So okay, so whenever you are describing yourself, as I told you, describing yourself at different places becomes different. But what we have to learn today, we have to learn how to introduce yourself, means generally. Either you are in any ceremony, either you are meeting with your guests at your home, or you are going into any other school and you are describing there. Okay, so here what we will do, I will just tell you the self introduction in means brief. Okay, and what you people have to do, I will tell you later on. And the questions that arise in your minds, you can ask me later on in the last of the lecture. Okay, so let's move towards our lecture number 5. Okay, it's the self introduction. So I am just describing each and everything individually to you people. Whenever you are giving the self introduction, for example, I am standing in a hall, the annual ceremony is there, or even if I am meeting with some person. So number one thing that is that you have to greet the others. Okay, now greetings may vary depending on the situation. So like we are Muslims, so being Muslims, you can go through your greetings the way you greet, like assalamu alaikum, or you can you can go formally like good morning or etc. depending on the time, good evening, good afternoon, okay, or as I told you, the Islamic way, or if you belong to some other caste, some other culture, you can go through there like namaste or etc. Okay, this is the formal greeting way. So initially you have to greet the others, okay, and if you are meeting with the colleagues, with the new friends, like they are of your age, so informal way maybe like, what do you do? Hey, how are you? Okay, like that. Hey, what's up? Yo, yes. Okay, these are some of the ways, the informal ways to greet. Okay, and after greetings, you are going to tell your name. Okay, so you can tell your name. You can tell your name like I am Adnan. Okay, you can use the other ways like this is Adnan. My name is like this. Okay, okay. If you are in a big hall, like if you are attending any ceremony like the annual function, your result day, or you are in a large hall, there are so many people in front of you, the audience is larger, or you are talking to someone on telephone, so you have to use this is. Okay, it looks good. Okay, and else you can apply any of the way to introduce your name. Okay, then you can talk about your location as well. Okay, location, you can describe it like I'm from. Okay, now it depends upon you. If you are from another school and you are giving your introduction or your program or your function is arranged somewhere else, then you have to means tell about your school, like I'm from XYZ school. Okay, if you are in a meeting with your colleagues and that is out of city, then you can speak about the name of your city. But if the city is same, then you can speak about your means address, or in Urdu or Sindhi we call it like you can speak about your colony, like I'm from a New Goat, I'm from Nizamani, I'm from Mohalla Mangi, like that. Okay, so after location you are going to talk about your position, about your profession. Is we are all these students, so here you are going to tell them like I'm a student. Okay, so that is what the profession, in fact, that you have described your profession. If you're not a student, if you work somewhere, you can just speak about that like I work for at a company. Okay, if you are describing your company for which you work, you have to use these two prepositions there. Either you use I work for or I work at, and then you have to write down the name. Okay, you do not use I work in XYZ company. Okay, you have to use I work for or I work at a company. After that, you have to describe your qualifications really in the class, in the standard, in the level you are studying right now. You would describe that like I study in X class. Or you can mix these two sentences with each other like I'm a student of metric class, I'm a student of ninth class, like that. Okay, and if you have completed your studies, then you will describe your highest education here, the name of the highest degree. Like you would speak like this: I am masters, I am bachelor's in science, I am masters in computer. Like this you would describe your qualifications there. Okay, after that, certainly family is important to talk about. Either you are giving any interview, either you are meeting with your friends, or in your annual means functions you are there, or you are in English class, you have to talk about your families. So as one of the students asked the question, sir, we have a long family, it's not long, we have a large family. Okay, Abbas? So if you have a large family, don't worry, you have to just speak about the immediate family. As yesterday I told you, whenever you are asked to talk about your family, you just need to put some light on your immediate family. Now, in immediate family, you would describe your siblings and their professions. It's important to talk about when you are giving your introduction that what your siblings do. And after, your parents certainly comes in your immediate family, you have to put some light on them as well. Okay, and after the immediate family you would move towards your aim. Certainly, if you are studying, if you are a student and your studies is continue, you must have some aim. So you would describe your aim. For example, now in aim you would use these structures that I told you. You can use I like to, I want to, I love to. Okay, you would use these structures here to speak about this aim. For example, you would write down I like to be a doctor, I like to be a teacher, I like to be an engineer, I like to be a businessman, I like to be a police officer. Okay, and you would also support your aim with two steps, with two more sentences. Okay, what are those? For example, if I want to become a teacher, so what is the source of inspiration towards it? Who inspired you to become a doctor? Who inspired you to become an engineer? Who inspired you to become a teacher? So you have to put a light on it. For example, I want to be a doctor because my sister is a doctor and she helps others. So that's why I want to become a doctor, and I also want to help the poor people. I also want to treat the sick. Okay, after the source of inspiration, you can also put, it's optional, you can also put some light on the steps either you are following or you have plans to reach your aim. For example, If I want to become a doctor because my sister is a doctor and I want to help the sick people, and for that, after my metric class, I will join the pre-medical group in first year and enter. I will join XYZ Academy where I will learn about this. Okay, and finally, you are going to talk about your hobbies, your habits. Okay, it puts a good impression on the listeners. In the hobbies or in the habits, you can talk about your favorite color, you can talk about your favorite food, you can talk about your favorite movie, you can talk about your favorite song, you can talk about your favorite game, you can talk about any other extra curricular activity. Okay, so you can talk about this in the last. Okay, I hope that was all done. If you introduce yourself in front of others following these steps, it would be enough. It would be enough from my side. Now, if you want to add anything extra in these 8 different topics, you can add. It depends upon the timing that you are assigned. It depends upon the place where you are speaking. It depends upon the audience again where you are speaking. So it depends on the condition. Okay. For example, I'm just giving you my introduction and then I will move ahead. Good evening, everyone. This is Adnan and I'm from Khairpur, Sindh, Pakistan. I'm a teacher and I'm masters in English. I've also done my engineering from Mehran University. My father's name is Mr. Ghulam Asghar and he is a government servant in education. My mother is a housewife. I have a brother who is younger to me. He is also a government servant. I have a sister. She is also younger to me. She is also younger to me and she is also a government servant. I always wanted to become a teacher because my father is a teacher, and when I watch him teaching his students and the way they respect him, I always wanted to become a teacher like him and to be respected by my students like he is. My favorite color is black. Mostly I purchase my clothes in black. I use black pen to write. And I love to eat biryani. However, anything which is made in my home, I love to eat everything. I love to watch Pakistani movies. I do not listen songs. And I love to play cricket. Whenever I get the time, I generally play cricket. And I also love to visit the new places with my family. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so it was the self-introduction, a brief self-introduction in which if you are in the English class, you can speak like this. Okay, if you are somewhere else, you can speak like this. Okay, now let's move towards yourself. If anybody have any question, you can ask me. You can ask me in the comments box and I will give you the answers. Okay. Kazim says, sir, FP streaming has a lot of issues. It suddenly stuck a certain point and we have to start it again, which is not a good. I'm leaving. Please come. Okay, Kazim, I cannot come live on YouTube because most of the students, they use Facebook, live Facebook IDs. So I will try to send you my videos later on. Okay. Okay, who's next question? Abbas, you ask a question that you have a lots of relatives. Okay, as I told you, Abbas, you are not going to talk about whole relatives. You are just going to talk about your immediate, your nuclear family members, like your parents and your siblings, your brothers and your sisters. That's it. It's enough. Okay. If anybody else have any question, you can ask. Okay, sir, this type of introduction. Okay, Mubarak, as I told you, this is the self-introduction of 3 different places. Okay, I'm writing down those 3 different places. Okay, if you are in English class, you can introduce like this. If you are in any annual function or any party or any gathering, you can introduce yourself like this. Okay. If you have joined any new institute and you are asked to introduce yourself, you can introduce yourself like this. Like in our homes, if some guests appear and they ask you to introduce yourself, so in front of guests, you can introduce yourself like this. Okay, so you can use the self-introduction at these different places. Okay. Okay, next, if you have any other question, you can ask me. Last 2 questions, if you have, just ask, and then I will respond in the WhatsApp group. Okay, let me finish my lecture with the homework. The homework to you people is just make a small self-introduction. It's your homework. Make your self-introduction on a piece of paper and share it with me. Okay, this is your homework. Okay, you can share the pictures of your homework, you can share the voice of your homework with me by any mode, via WhatsApp or in the comment box of this video or anywhere else. Okay, so this was all about the self-introduction from myself. See you tomorrow. Allah Hafiz.